Welcome to the 2022 AVP New Orleans Open. Buckle up because we're taking the party from Bourbon Street to the Bayou with beach volleyball coming at you all weekend long, in the heat and under the stars. Just a few weeks ago for stop number 1 in Austin, Texas, it was Taryn Float and Kristen Nuss staking their claim on the women's side.
Oh my goodness! Kristen Nuss unloads.
Taking down reigning world champions Sarah Pavin and Melissa Humana-Paredes. Well, for the men, a name we've called time and time again.
Phil Dahlhauser. Block. Phil Dahlhauser.
Phil Dahlhauser and his temporary partner, Andy Benish, took home the top prize, beating the ever-firing Troy Field and Chase Buttinger. We may be in the Big Easy, but the level will be anything but. It's time to shake the tree here at Coconut Beach. It's the AVP New Orleans Open, and it all starts right now.
It's been 6 long years since the AVP was in New Orleans, but we are back. An absolutely gorgeous day. 85 degrees, perfect low humidity. What does that mean? It's perfect beach volleyball weather. It's the 2022 New Orleans Open here at Coconut Beach Volleyball Complex in Kenner, Louisiana, just 20 minutes away from New Orleans. I'm Dane Blanton with Cameron Irwin, and we are getting set here for the contenders bracket. It is double elimination format, so both of these teams have lost. They've headed to the losers bracket, as we call it, so they'll be facing elimination as we get ready down on center court. And who better to introduce the players? None other than Mark Sherman.
Sorry, I'm screwing. Do I have to talk now? I'll start talking now. Hey there, everybody. My name's Mark. Welcome back in to Stadium Core. We had a really fun match. It was a little bit up and down for both teams, and then, man, at the end, Kaya and Megan just turned it on. I'm looking forward to another very competitive match here on Elimination Saturday. Come with me. Let's meet these teams, shall we? These first. Oh, hello, ladies. Yes. Who do I start? Let's start with my neighbor, shall we? Just across the way. And you know what? I used to think that my wife, Kim, was the biggest Harry Potter fan in the world, but no, it is officially you and Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it out of Grand Canyon University. It's Kenzie Ponnet. Here we go, neighbor. Now, Kenzie and her partner, they got the job done in San Antonio to make it here to the AVP. And this young lady, if you have not watched her play, wait till you see the arm on this player out of Georgia State. Oh my goodness. Let me hear it for Chelsea Rice. And their opponents. This first player just finished her second year at UCLA, a 4-year letter winner in high school in soccer and volleyball out of Merritt Island, Florida. It's Lexi Denaburg. And her partner out of Pepperdine University, the Mewhirters. You two, both of yours all over, aren't you? You are like quintessential Hermosa Beach, up and down the Strand, constantly smiling just like that. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Delaney Mewhirter. It's a family affair for Delaney and Travis, coach this weekend here in New Orleans. Winner of this match moves on, guaranteed top 10, but looking for more. Loser of this match will get a 13th place here at Coconut Beach.
Well, thanks a lot, Mark Sherman. I'm Dane Blanton alongside Cameron Irwin here on center court. As I mentioned, some contenders bracket play. Number 12 and number 13. Winner moves on, loser goes home. Cameron, this one is going to be exciting. Give me a little keys to the match.
Oh, well, it's great to be here in New Orleans, having a great time. Number 12 seed, Denaburg and Mewhirter. This is a team I am very excited to see. Denaburg just coming off the finish of her NCAA collegiate year over at UCLA. She is dynamic, not only as a blocker, but also as a defender, recently making the switch to full-time defense. So it'll be interesting to see what they plan to do as a team between Denaburg and Mewhirter, facing off against Ponnet and Rice. Mewhirter already working on that right side.
Yeah, neither one of these teams has ever played against one another because both of them are newly formed this weekend. So trying to get some traction, trying to figure out how those partnerships match up. And as you said, Cameron, Lexi Denaburg, definitely the future of U.S. volleyball, one of the best collegiate players in the country. And she has really had a successful career so far professionally, played in 2 tournaments, both top 10 finishes. So she's looking to improve upon that.
What a nice snap right there from Chelsea Rice and Mark Sherman. We got to give a big congratulations to Mark Sherman as well as Kim Sherman coming off their wedding just a weekend ago. I think that was a big victory for Mark right there. But a nice swing, like Mark mentioned, from the arm of Chelsea Rice. She's going to bring some pace and some heat.
Congratulations, Mark Sherman. Definitely upgrading his game there. But I expect this matchup, Cameron, no doubt to go down to the wire. That's why this is 12 versus 13. And these players know how important it is, really trying to position for points. So many teams are traveling internationally. These are great opportunities for some of these younger players to grab a foothold and really increase their points.
Well, and to your point, yesterday, there were 8 of the 12 matches played went to 3 sets. And that was not just on the women's side, also on the men's side, as Chelsea Rice somehow finds a way to get that ball back over the net. So lots of extended play and back and forth here in NOLA.
Nice cut shot right there by Lexi Denaburg, just 20 years of age. A fantastic soccer player, winning 2 state championships before headed to UCLA, where she's been at that number 1 position and has really been tearing it up. Here you get to see Lexi on the right side, just chopping it down. And a net violation right there, I believe, on Mewhirter and Denaburg. So it's all tied up here. 4 points apiece. As we mentioned, you gotta win this one or your tournament is over. A lot of pressure here on a Saturday. Great shot by Kenzie Ponnet.
After the kill, she'll serve.
Yeah, and to your point, it was a great shot, but what was so impressive is her being able to slide into the middle there to be able to defend that ball that was being attacked from about 7 feet off the net, off of Mewhirter's swing. I like the way she covers that and then demolishes that next contact.
Ponnet, her best finish, a 3rd place in Hermosa Beach a few years ago with Sheila Shaw, and so she's trying to get back to that form, get into late into Sunday, because that's where the money's made. That's where the big points are. Mewhirter with a cut shot, and that thing is way short. What happened there, Cameron?
Well, it's tough. You got to actually look back to all the way to the service pressure. They backed Mewhirter all the way up to the service line on her own side, so she was having to run the length of the court just to be able to take an approach there. And then, oh, even better, instead of backing her up again, they changed that service pressure, going with the short ball, really making sure Mewhirter is staying quick with those feet and trying to get a nice pass. But right now, the service pressure of Ponnet and Rice is paying dividends.
Ponnet with a beautiful serve. There's three types of serves. There's that standing float, there's a jump float, and then there's a traditional top spin. She likes the jump floater, and sometimes the bottom just falls out of it, and there's a big hit. A little bit of a collision at the net between Rice and Mewhirter. I hope everyone's okay here. I think she just came under the net just a little bit.
Yeah, and there's also something to note here. Mewhirter actually switched to the left side, so that was something trying to get into a little bit maybe of a better side out flow. She was working on that right side. So nice switch up and put away.
Beautiful dig, and then Mewhirter over and out of bounds. But great defense right there. But Ponnet and Rice are going to take a 9-5 lead as we switch sides at increments of 7.
In set number 3, 13-10 is the lead for Marciniak and Bongren against Prima and Tucker in set number 3. I'll let you know how that
So Ponnet and Rice getting out to an early lead. Remember, 2 out of 3 to 21. If we need a third set, that one goes to 15. Switch on increments of 7. If you get to the third set, you switch on 5. So it's very important. And new this year, Cameron, I wanted to talk to you about it a little bit, is the elimination of the freeze. No more freezing at match points. So how is that going to affect the season?
Well, typically you'd say the matches are going to become shorter and shorter. However, if yesterday's equation plays into effect, these teams are still battling it out right up to the last moment in that third set. So personally, I mean, I kind of miss the freeze. I love those late comeback rallies that you could see at those final moments of matches. However, it is really fun to see a different dynamic and a different element with these teams. The side-out game becomes that much more critical. Every single contact just means that much more, especially as you get to crunch time right at the end of matches.
And Kenzie.
Little tool off the block by Kenzie right there. But I would agree with you. You know, the only thing that I fear, which I really liked and that the freeze prevented, was like a trickler ace to win the match. I wish that was still kind of outlawed. There's no, you know, never want to win on kind of a lucky play. But one thing that the freeze does, I do agree, it keeps us in continuity with the rest of the world, because the AVP was the only tour doing the freeze rule. I think the players liked it, but it was kind of challenging to switch over and have a different format internationally.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of a mixed bag there, right? If you play well in the freeze, you're a fan of it. If not, well, you're saying X-Day, get rid of that thing.
Big hit on the left side by Ponnet, just destroying a perfect set from Chelsea Rice.
Yeah, I'm really impressed right now with Kenzie Ponnet. Not only can you see her taking big swings at the ball, but even when she was attacking on the right side, I've seen her move her feet in and adjust to some sets maybe not where she expected them to be. And she's made some big time plays just in these last few points.
Lexi Denaburg back to serve, 20 years of age, 6 feet, resides in Merritt Island, Florida, as we mentioned, attends UCLA, plays in their #1 position, and she has got quite a jump serve. Beautiful dig by Denaburg, but that sets over the net, and Ponnet knows exactly what to do with it.
Oh, and Mewhirter's going to be kicking herself for that one. Just a little bit of frustration there because that dig was phenomenal. Probably a lot of spin on that ball coming off just the one arm of Denaburg. And that ball just soars over on that second contact. That was a big-time transition opportunity for Denaburg and Mewhirter.
Just getting started here in 2022. This is just the second stop on the AVP Crow Beach Tour. It's a Pro Series event, 16 total stops. As you can tell right there, June in Muskegon, Michigan. We'll head to Denver, Wapaka, Hermosa, Atlantic City, Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta. Note Atlanta, a Gold Series event. There's 3 Gold Series events, as you see, Manhattan Beach and Chicago as well. And then we have the AVP Championships this year in Phoenix, a very exclusive event, which I believe only 6 teams will attend. So a lot of options, a lot of playing opportunities on the AVP Tour here in 2022.
Yeah, it's so great to see all those events back on the schedule. And this one back on the schedule, you already mentioned its return after not being here for several years. So many athletes just so excited to be playing near their home. You mentioned Taryn Cloth, Kristen Nuss, obviously from Louisiana, or at least LSU. Kristen Nuss, the hometown kid. You also think of Evan Corey getting to play near his home as well. So a lot of fun having new and some traditions brought back to life on the AVP Tour in 2022.
So 13-9 out of the technical timeout. And it is Denaburg and Mewhirter serving. Great serve right there by Mewhirter. A lot of float on it and not to be handled. So you can just see how effective some of these jump float serves are. Mewhirter again going to Rice. And Rice just rips that cross court. I mean, we know Mark Sherman was talking about the arm of Rice there. You got a little look at it, how quick it is as she snaps that cross court.
Yeah, that was an absolute BB she fought off in terms of the service pressure. And you see Lexi Denaburg pull down the line. And that's about as sharp of an angle as Rice could have taken. Another great stab, though, from Ponnet.
And Ponnet cannot finish it off right there. You know, that's the difference, getting to that next level. A lot of players can play great defense, but the really excellent, top-notch, spectacular players can finish it off in transition. That is what is so difficult, and a foot fault is called on Denaburg. So we've seen a few violations, net violation, foot fault. You got to clean it up if you're going to be victorious here.
Yeah, and these are some kind of unorthodox errors for these two. Just need to settle in a little bit. You think about the net violation or the line call as well. I also think back to that missed set from Mewhirter as well. So maybe just getting in a little bit of better rhythm here. I like the way they did come out of that technical timeout, though. It did look like they started to get more aggressive from the service line. That's a great tool to have in your bag when you're trying to get back into a set.
So Ponnet and Rice up 16-11 as Denaburg and Mewhirter will take a timeout and think about it. You get 1 timeout per set, and so they've used it up, but they're up against it right now, trailing by 5. You know, you look at the lineup of players, Cameron, and so many of these players have come from the collegiate ranks, and some still currently in college, like Lexi Denaburg. What kind of impact do you think that's going to have on this tour in the near future?
Well, says the back-to-back national champion Dane Bland, coach of USC, I think it has a huge impact, right? You get to see these kids competing at an incredibly high level for 4, maybe, well, especially with COVID years also attached and redshirt years, maybe 4 to 6 years in college, getting so much training, great coaching, you know, across the country, and the game just continues to develop. We even saw it this past year at the NCAA National Championship expand the draw, right? We saw the growth, and it was finally needed. There's over, I think, 170 teams now across the country for the women's collegiate beach volleyball, and they're just getting contact after contact, which is going to pay dividends here at the professional ranks.
We'll take our side switch at 12.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Just getting more reps, getting formal coaching. You know, when I started playing the sport, I never had formal coaching on the beach. So it's just such a huge advantage. And we're seeing so many of these collegiate athletes come out and make an impact immediately on the tour, especially the girls from LSU who have been really dominant since they hit the scene.
Yeah, and there's been a couple different waves, right, as Delaney Mewhirter misses that serve. But you're looking, even if you take a look at these 4 phenomenal professional athletes on the sand now, I mean, Mackenzie Ponnet and Chelsea Rice were kind of one of those originals, because Ponnet out of Grand Canyon University, Rice out of Middle Tennessee and Georgia State as well, and Delaney Mewhirter out of Pepperdine University. And Denaburg now in that second wave of great collegiate athletes as she unloads.
Yeah, Denaburg showing how much power she has. She's got the shots as well, but when she rips that cross court, one of her favorite shots, you better look out. Here comes Denaburg. She'll do the traditional topspin jump serve, placing that deep. Looks like Ponnet in a little bit of trouble, and almost a free ball situation, almost messed up by Denaburg. And a beautiful left-handed stab by Denaburg, but Mewhirter tries to get a little bit tricky and go over the net. That one comes up short, and what a rally.
What a dig, my goodness.
Can we talk about Lexi Denaburg's left hand? It has been unstoppable in this first set alone, especially moving to that left side, just snapping that arm out there, getting great contacts and extending those rallies. Beautiful plays on her offhand.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, 2-time state champion in soccer, state champion in volleyball as well in Florida. So she can really do it all, and she's so quick, reads the ball well, and it's really fun to watch. Beautiful hit on the right side by Mewhirter.
Yeah, great check down, good vision by Mewhirter on the right side, recognizing the pulling block and just going straight at it.
Mewhirter back to serve with a traditional jump float serve to the corner, trying to get Rice in trouble. And they'll have an opportunity to score. Not yet, says Ponnet.
Nobody
And
up there
Ponnet just
intensely.
absolutely
Ponnet says,
crushes the open net straight down.
And Dane, I'm going to go right back to your point. It's one thing to dig a ball, but to be able to then put
19-14.
that away is a whole other element. Watch how quick Ponnet gets back up out of the sand. Those last 2 steps, so dynamic. She puts herself in great position. And also, hats off to Chelsea Rice being able to deliver that ball perfectly in front of her partner.
You mentioned Ponnet's step close, those last 2 steps. When you have that quick step close, it opens up your entire offensive window, and Ponnet and Rice have really been capitalizing on the opportunities. That's why they find themselves up 19-15. Denaburg going to have to make something happen here if they're going to be victorious here in this first set.
And now
When you talk about trying to make something happen, they did switch up their approach. Instead of going at Chelsea Rice in the side-out game, they switched and went at Ponnet, trying to attack that cross sideline.
2015, Ponnet and Rice have created a substantial lead, so they'll have multiple opportunities here to finish out this first set. So important. Get on top that first set. Gives you a lot of comfort. Great athletic play by Denaburg. And a joust at the net, and it looks like Ponnet is going to win that one. So Ponnet and Rice, first opportunity, they close the door.
Chelsea Rice, sorry. I knew it was going to happen at some point. It's going to happen. Just like me calling you Chelsea Ross.
Take a look at this. You got to love the press from Ponnet, and especially she patrols yet again, back-to-back blocks, doing such an awesome job. She really stepped up in game 1 against Denaburg and Mewhirter.
So Ponnet and Rice winning set number 1. Denaburg and Mewhirter will try to even up things when we come back.
dive and find our rhythm. You and I, the sky, the moon, and the light was just a ride. Share a little love, share a little love. Learn to respect one another. We could find a way to make another day brighter now that we've got each other.
Dear Mainland, aloha. My brother and I hear lots of you have discovered a real Hawaiian favorite, Big Wave Golden Ale. That's the good kind of stuff, yeah, bro. Maybe it's the island flavor that makes each sip taste like a little vacation.
Got your beers here.
That's a whole lot of little vacations right there, huh, brother? That's like a big vacation. Retirement. One life, right? Mahalo. Big Wave Golden Ale from Kona Brewing.
Welcome back to the AVP Pro Series New Orleans Open. Set number 1 in the books. It goes to Ponnet and Rice.
Yeah, and you take a look at some of these stats. The first one that obviously sticks out is just that hitting efficiency. And that's a big variation from Ponnet and Rice versus Denaburg and Mewhirter. But some of the other things I want to go back to, just a little bit of surprising play from Mewhirter and Denaburg. I have a feeling they're going to clean things up here in set number 2. Just some uncharacteristic mistakes from those two. And they're little easy fixes, right? Staying out of the net, staying back on the service line, and cleaning up some of those sets to be able to get themselves in better rhythm.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Cameron. They're making some great plays. They're just not converting at times and not capitalizing when they've had those opportunities. So important as you advance in the bracket, when you start playing better teams, the strong teams don't give you many opportunities, so you must capitalize on it. Mewhirter back to serve. She'll go to Ponnet. Ponnet just really showing her versatility.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's a tough ball right there, about 3 to 4 feet off the net. Just that short little trickle ball, waterfall ball over the top of the block. Beautifully placed.
Rice float serve to Mewhirter, and she cannot handle it right there. The passing game as well with Denaburg and Mewhirter, they need to just kind of be a little more precise on where they put him, put a little more loop in that pass so that Denaburg can get there. There it is.
Oh, and
Much
that was
better
perfectly
pass right
timed.
there.
Perfectly timed. Yeah, give yourself a little bit more room for error. Great call, especially when you're in a newer partnership trying to find your rhythm. Just give yourself that extra second. It makes sense. You want to try and run some sort of tempo offense, or maybe you're trying to do a couple things. But first and foremost, got to figure out that passing set.
And Rice giving it right back right there with that ball going long. And as you mentioned, Cameron, Denaburg and Mewhirter, they're just going to have to take advantage of opportunities that they get and continue to play aggressive. Lexi Denaburg, jump float. She'll go over to Rice. Rice kicks out nicely and tries to go down the line, but it's Mewhirter making up and stuffing that ball. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite skills from Delaney Mewhirter. Watch how she elongates and then presses. She is a great, we'll call her somewhat undersized blocker, only 5'10" on the women's side of the game, but she does a great job with her vision. And when she starts to assert herself, you better watch out.
Oh, that violation just touched the net, grabbing that ball out.
Another beautiful left-handed stab by Denaburg, and you mentioned it, Cameron. She is really effective with that left hand. Just haven't been able to convert. Net violation right there by Mewhirter. So if she keeps digging balls like that, they're going to be in some good shape.
Yeah, watch. Oh my goodness, what a reach. And that's a tough ball to try and play out of the net, kind of hitting just the bottom cord. Right above it. Quiet platform there from Delaney Mewhirter, and it pays off. You can see how things start to shape up. We talk about being in system and out of system so often, and a lot of it comes on the indoor side of the game, but it also is very critical here in the beach game as well. And it all starts with a good first contact to be able to set up that set and the offensive scheme that you want. Nice platform from Delaney Mewhirter.
Oh, wow. Mewhirter has got to stay in the play right there. She got Rice in total trouble right there, falling backwards with the cut shot, and she watches that hit the ground. You have to pursue. So Rice will go back to serve, trailing 4-5. Would love to wrap this thing up in 2 sets, but Denaburg and Mewhirter have other plans. Mewhirter with a nice poke over the block.
And again, you can just see how quiet that platform is becoming for Mewhirter. That's a good sign for her. 2 great side-out balls back-to-back.
Lexi Denaburg, nice rip down the middle, causes a little bit of trouble, but not much, as Ponnet puts the ball away. Cross court right there. You know, Cameron, we talked about the AVP being absent from New Orleans for some time. You'd have to go back to 2016, the last time the AVP was here. And on the men's side, it was Ryan Doherty and John Mayer victorious. And on the women's side, it was Kim DiCello and Kendra Van Sweet. So a lot of those players
a couple names
not
I
even
haven't
competing
heard for a while. No, but a couple great names. You think Ryan Doherty, also Kendra Van Sweeten and Kim DiCello. I know they're actually looking at maybe playing a couple more together. They played in a couple qualifiers, so another fun team to keep an eye out for. Even Johnny Mayer, one of the greats over now at LMU. Got a great program.
Yeah, I think John Mayer could for sure come out of coaching retirement and compete right now. You know, just pick up one of those big guns, the tall trees at 6'9", and he'd be fine.
Oh no, I think we're gonna go like full college coaching like team. You got to play alongside him, see what you guys can do together.
There's another great.
Yeah, I mean, again, just the defensive rhythm of Ponnet and Chelsea Rice has been really outstanding. Great contacts. Tough serve, though.
8-6.
And we'll take the turn right now, 8-6. Denaburg and Mewhirter really playing well, starting to capitalize a little bit more on their opportunities, passing better, and putting some serving pressure on Ponnet and Rice. That's been the difference here.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's also important to note here in New Orleans and at Coconut Beach, we've got a little bit of a good side, bad side. If you are at home watching, you can take a look at our flags just on stadium court here. So right now, Mewhirter is technically wind at her back. So a little bit of the bad side. And we also saw Denaburg actually take advantage of that as well, making sure she was actually going with a jump float on the bad side. And then she was serving into the wind a little bit more aggressive with her jump topspin serve. Something to pay attention to as this match continues on.
Yeah, it's absolutely so true. Those players that can feel the wind, that can sense where the breeze is and can use it to their benefit, really put themselves in better position. Here, Denaburg's going to have an opportunity with a left hand. She tries to put it away, and then right back at you. Rice with a left hand. Now Ponnet will have an opportunity on the right side, and she thunders it down the line.
Right to the corner. We're tied again.
My goodness, some wild things in that rally. I just want to go back to Denaburg taking that ball overhead cleanly and just beautifully setting that ball out on the first contact. That takes some confidence, but also the defensive play. Ponnet getting touches, and again, the left hand. That was a set from Denaburg with her left paw.
Amazing rally. Right back at it, right side order. And Ponnet with a dig's going to have an opportunity. You'd like to see Rice take more of a chance, put that ball up at the net. No one seems to get a good set close enough to the net. There it is. And Rice out of gas and energy, and that ball flies just a little bit too long.
Couple back-to-back rallies with extended play, and that's definitely going to take the wind not only out of your lungs, but if you lose one of those, it's also going to take the wind out of your sails a little bit. That's one of those mentality moments where you've got to dig deep. You also do things like this, taking a sand timeout, cleaning off your glasses, getting your mind and your body reset, because a lot of those moments can be the big momentum shifts when you look back throughout matches.
Yeah, Cameron, I completely agree. Not only do you get a little fatigued, you lose a little confidence when you lose a long rally like that. You get a little bit more dejected, and on the other side, you get a little bit of a boost. And so let's see if Denaburg and Mewhirter can use it. Nope, that's a great shot down the line. You can't really rattle Rice or Ponnet. A lot of experience there, always kind of cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, I love the way they're able to just come back out. It's that first ball side out, which is so important too, just off those first three contacts. That's efficiency, which is needed in this heat.
Cross court wide open for Mewhirter, and she connects after listening to her partner, Denaburg. So important to listen to your partner if you don't have eyes.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you get a little bit stuck, or maybe you're trying to see if the ball is tight. You're looking up at the ball, hard to know what the defensive scheme is behind you, and they've been actually changing up on Mewhirter a little bit. Sometimes pulling on her down the line. That time they had put the angle block in front of her, so a nice call by her partner, Denaburg.
10-all. At the culmination of 21 points in each of the first two sets, we have a technical timeout, so we're 1 point away from the technical. Ponnet and Rice trying to go into that timeout with a lead. Nice pass, and here's Denaburg, and she gets stuffed down by Ponnet. So that's a confidence builder for Ponnet as they go in the technical timeout.
That is a huge play from Ponnet. My goodness, because I was going to go back to the contact from Lexi Denaburg, because you can tell that both Denaburg and Mewhirter are trying to focus on that first contact just based off of their finish to their platform, hanging onto that platform just a second longer, trying to make sure they're getting into a better rhythm. And all of a sudden you feel like those contacts are starting to come, and now all of a sudden you have to think about your offense as well. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge. They've got to continue to just piece their game together here in the second set.
There's a look at the 85-degree temperature, very low humidity, 37%, and maxing out at 10 miles per hour. That is absolutely perfect beach volleyball weather. Not too hot, not too windy, clear skies. This is just a dream of a day. Kind of wish I could jump on the court again and compete, huh, Cameron? It's perfect beach volleyball weather.
Yeah, but it is hot as all get out. So these athletes are so grateful that not only are we playing here in the late afternoon, but also into the evening. I got a chance to catch up with Paul Lottman after yesterday's play and their big win over Andy Benish and Nick Lucena. And I was talking to him, I was like, man, it's got to be so nice to be able to play some of those night matches. He goes, yeah, the conditions just got that much better. The wind died down for us, which was so helpful, and it definitely cooled off. So those night matches are something not only that you're going to want to watch, but these athletes are absolutely loving playing under the stars and under the lights here in NOLA.
So what you're saying is if you're playing midday, not really the thing. You want to play in those night matches under the light. It gets a little cooler.
Yeah, a little cooler.
So out of the technical timeout, Denaburg and Mewhirter score and tie it up at 11. Denaburg has been ripping this jump serve from that back right corner. And this one a little too greedy. finds the net, falls short. Service pressure, so important, Cameron.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, if you actually take a look at that serve and maybe what went wrong on that is you got to pay attention to the toss, especially on a jump topspin ball like that. That ball has to be out in front of you for your contact point. That ball gets a little bit tight, and Chelsea Rice still able to fight it off, and a great shot from Kenzie putting that ball away. But back to the serve, you have to be able to toss that ball well out in front, especially on that side with the wind coming at your face. It's even that much more important that you give a little bit of extra finger roll and get that up there to the service line to keep that out in front.
Ponnet with the serve over to Mewhirter, and Mewhirter sees Rice dropping, and that's what you're taught usually. When that blocker drops, go at them quickly because they're usually going to be off balance. Little strategizing going on between Denaburg and Mewhirter. You see Denaburg versatility. She can play the backcourt. She can also play at the net as a blocker. She's going to front the hitter here. And look at that. Right away, Denaburg gets the stuff block as she moves up to the net.
Yeah, that's a big time play. And when we talked about momentum shifts, not only is it those extended rallies, but an ace is a big momentum shifter as well as a stuff block. So that's huge on the side of Mewhirter and Denaburg.
Comes Rice on the left side. That bet by Ponnet was over the net, and Denaburg takes advantage once again. So Denaburg playing some aggressive volleyball at the net.
Big swing. That's the physicality that we've come to know and see from Denaburg.
So I see a switch happening. Ponnet moves over to the left. Rice moves over to the right, trying to switch up the momentum here. And it works.
Guiding the pokey to the sand. We're going to take the switch. 14. Who's rooting for Kenzie
14
and
all
Chelsea
as
out
we
there?
take the switch. You know, this thing goes back and forth. The winner of this will take on Quiggle and Skirmerhorn, the number 7 seed in the tournament. That'll happen tonight on court number 2 at 6:30 p.m. So you better believe Skirmerhorn and Quiggle are watching this one, scouting it out, as Rice with the serve over to Mewhirter. Rice is going to have an opportunity. No, it's Ponnet, and she scores that 15th point.
Yeah, I love the heads-up play there by Kenzie to be able to see the block and kind of attack some of those angles. So not only is it just the size, but also a little bit of the high hands as Denaburg is trailing off the net there as blocker.
Rice continues to go to Mewhirter, and Mewhirter with a great kind of cut shot hit with a little heat on it right there. But as this thing goes on, Cameron, the pressure starts to build on Denaburg and Mewhirter because they're down a set and they will be facing elimination.
Yeah, no longer the freeze on their side, so definitely going to have to clean things up or continue to add the pressure here in set number 2.
Beautiful pass by Rice. Back set a little bit off the net. Mewhirter with the dig. She'll have an opportunity and uses it. Great thumb down. Cross court hit with nice control is Mewhirter.
Yeah, what an angle for her. Gotta love that she put some pace on there. Like, the cut's open, but no, we're just gonna hit and hit away. I love it.
On net, not a lot of options with 2 defenders back, but she goes right down the middle.
Yeah, that set actually trailing just a little bit further off the net than Kenzie maybe expected. So I like that she does what you should do when you're in a little bit of trouble. Attacking the middle there is always a great option to add pressure, and that time it really pays off with a point.
Another trouble pass by Mewhirter, and this time it's Ponnet and Rice who make them pay right there and take the 17-16 lead.
We're going to take timeout.
Ponnet again adding the nice service pressure, and these two just continue to play steady, very clean and efficient volleyball. They're kind of relentless in their pursuit as well. We've seen those extended rallies happening because how they did on defense, and also some big time blocking. So these two really putting just about every element of their game in here in set number 2.
As I mentioned, as we get closer to 21 here, the pressure is on Mewhirter and Denaburg because they lost that first set. You really want to make your move now. You don't want to wait until it's 19-all or 20-all. You want to try to get a couple point lead to have a little bit of comfort. But this one, it looks like Cameron's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, just like most others have here in New Orleans. You gotta love the energy and everybody coming out with an absolute fight. You know, you mentioned it too as you take a look at some of the efficiencies and how they've now shaken out. 3 blocks, 2 blocks. Ponnet and Rice versus Denaburg and Mewhirter. The aces now just about even as well. So a little bit of story of 2 different sets here. But the energy out in New Orleans, you gotta love. Every time the wannabes show up, we got people dressing up, dressing out, and also, you know, you gotta take off a layer or 2 in this type of heat.
Here we go, 17 looking at 16.
And here we go. It's a 1-point lead by Ponnet and Rice. Mewhirter with nobody up at the net puts it down to tie it at 17. I think this thing is going to come down to passing, right? You got to pass the ball. That's where we've seen some errors on both sides of the net. Who can handle the pressure here as we get to the end of set number 2?
Well, it becomes the side-out game without a doubt, and it's such a critical element. The pass.
Oh, that one was so close.
Totally out of bounds. It is crunch time.
Oh, talk about the nerves of steel, Chelsea Rice. Yikes. I always say if you don't know, you go. And apparently Chelsea Rice has a premonition here, knowing that ball is out. Woo! That's close.
Ponnet, Rice up 18-17, just 3 points away from advancing to the next round. Of course, we mentioned it earlier. This is the consolation bracket, so loser goes home. And a huge opportunity for a score right here. Rice with a cut shot wide open, and it'll be 19-17. So all the pressure in the world now on Denaburg and Mewhirter.
Yeah, I think that set was just a little bit too tight for Mewhirter. You could see her trying to do a little bit of the limbo underneath the net there. Didn't give her as many options as she would have liked.
Just out of reach to put away for 18-19.
There's the nice adjustment from Denaburg. You can see the distance off the net. So many more options for Mewhirter on the side out. Attacking down the line.
Here's where you have to manufacture a point. Somehow, some way, Denaburg and Mewhirter have to get back in it. They cannot afford Ponnet and Rice getting to 20 right here. So will she roll the dice and go for the ace? Beautiful serve. And Denaburg was moving in the back court, pokey to the other corner, and now the pressure's on.
Yeah, you gotta love that first pass from Ponnet. Being able to push her partner up there.
And on the first opportunity, it's Ponnet and Rice who get the stuff block. They went after Mewhirter, jumped in her angle right there, and they will advance. A tough finish for Denaburg and Mewhirter.
Yeah, you gotta love the finish there with the stuff block. Great energy, and also it's important to note, coming off the sand with just 2 sets, that's gonna play really well as they continue their way through the contenders bracket.
There's a big
You're looking back
hit.
at some of the plays throughout, some big time highlights for these 2 teams, and a lot of service pressure from Mackenzie Ponnet.
So Ponnet and Rice will move on with a straight set victory. They will face Wiggle and Skirmerhorn on court number 2 at 6:30 this evening. So they were just absolutely on their game. They passed the ball well. They executed, and you can tell with the smiles on their face. They are pleased with their victory, and they will move on. For Cameron Irwin, I'm Dane Blanton. We'll see you soon.